So, deck update number 10,000. Who knows by now? Okay, so what I'm going to, this is going to be a really long video. There were some things I wanted to say first to you. Also, here's what I want to say. I already did that one. Soul Speak readings, Soul Intuitive Tarot, or something. I don't know. It's late. The people I mentioned before is the people I watch. Soul Print, Intuitive Tarot, The Way of Positive Change, Mystic Bella, Soul Speak readings. I forget. I think that was it, though, actually. Those are the new ones I found. So, what I'm going to do is, can you see that? Yes, you can. Go through each one of the decks, show you a few cards from each one. So that's why it's going to be a really long video, because there are 64 decks. So this is one is called the Good Tarot. And I love the pictures on it. Really, really do. They changed the names. This used to be a pet peeve of mine. I couldn't stand when the deck would change the name, because I was just kind of a stickler about that. But this deck came under fire because of not the name change, but the meaning change, basically. Because it's called the Good Tarot, because all of the cards are supposed to be sort of expected as good. So even the Tower, it didn't have a negative meaning to the creator of the deck. And so they were saying that, oh, you took away the relevancy of the Tower, and you did this, and you did this, and you did this. And here's the thing. If you know what it means, read it for what it means. I like the artwork. I think they're really cool. And there it is, actually, the Tower. So, and you see there is no doom and destruction in usual Tower cards, so it's nice and pretty, shiny. So that one sort of came under fire, but I love the artwork. So I bought it. Everything doesn't have to, match your standards. Just buy the damn thing. This one by independent artist called the Afro Goddess. I'm gonna get a lot of people say they love this one. I do too. It was actually outside of the black and white deck I have. It is my favorite. That is the back. If you can see that, is Africa, but the pattern. So it's not symmetrical for those who read reversed cards, but it's black. So, I mean, you really can't tell too much. But here's some of the artwork. Andrea Furtick, I believe, is the name. And she signs all of them. Let's see that. And this is the artwork. I wish I could draw. I think if I could draw, then I'd have my deck like already made. But she did change the names. So there is the Son of Swords, the Princess of Swords, the God of Swords, and Goddess of Swords. The Emperor. So very beautiful. Very beautiful images. Ten of Swords. See if I can find my favorite card. And this one was quite interesting. Looks like the White House being blown to smithereens. Oh, there it is. This is my favorite card. All the people on the hill have stab wounds for where she stabbed them in the back. Five of Swords. So I love this deck. I really, really do. It's one of my absolute favorites. And this one is gigantic because there are 2 decks in one. But this was my very first deck. It is called, actually for the purposes of this video, I will show you the very first deck that I got. Instead of this one. It is called the Gilded Tarot. It came as part of a set it was a book by Josephine, I always want to put an R in there, Josephine Ellershaw. And that came with it. I got it from Barnes & Noble at the time. So you can see it has gotten some wear and tear. I've had it like 15 years now, 10 years, 12 years, I don't know. Bunch of years. Like you can tell the difference. This one's all nice and white and clean. And then this one's been sort of worn the test of time there. But I'm hard on my cards anyway because of the way I shuffle. But I like that. I like that sort of that worn in look. I like that. I usually don't. I like things clean and pristine, but when it comes to this, it gives them character to me when they're kind of worn in. But this is the Gilded Tarot. So these images are quite nice. This is the deck I learned with. It's the deck I put under my pillow. And the next morning, all the images were there. I knew what everything meant. I would say it's weird, but I guess it's not really weird. It's the way things are. This one I've seen on Twitter. I don't have the box for it anymore, though. It's called the Gay Tarot. And I figured, why not? Well, what the hell? And all of the cards in here, like all the court cards, the female cards are all women. And they've changed a lot of the names and things too. Like that's the Chariot, so there are no horses. He's like being pulled by dogs. Got 10 of Swords. Death card. And like there's the Youth of Wands. I believe this is the Page. It goes like Youth. And that's Page. Then it goes Man. That's Knight. Then it goes Guide. That's the Queen. And then it goes Sage. That's the King. So there's the Sage of Wands. See, they changed the name and the theme. There's no horses. He's a politician. But in this deck, like this is the Intuitive instead of the Empress. This is the Judgment card, so it's called Beyond Judgment. So I thought it was neat. So I got it. So there's that one. This one, I thought just had really neat cards. And this one by the same artist that did my very first deck, the Gilded Tarot, did this one. Ciro Marchetti. I love the dark background, like that dark sort of frame on them. So yeah, these are really nice. And I got them because of that. I love the images. Now this one, I went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth on. I'm like, I don't want that. Get it. I don't want that. So most of the decks I'm going to show you are exactly this situation. To where I went back and forth so many times to where I said to myself, just get the damn thing. I mean, if you use it one time, fine, but just get it. And so I did. I just got it. And so most of them are just like that. It's like, it's a tarot deck that I don't hate, therefore get it. This is the one I said had the Golden Girls pantsuits on. So there's that. It is. That is. It just, it just reminds me of, I don't know why. It's like these Golden Girl pantsuits. It just designing women. It just looks that way too. So I got it. But the images are still cool though. So I mean, why not? And like I said, it was a deck that I didn't hate, so get it. And they did a good job. I love the packaging. There's the back, so it is symmetrical, so you can do reversed cards with these. So that's that. It's called the Neo Tarot. There. So just tarot. This I seen on it was Psychic Tracy Brown. She has a YouTube channel too. She uses these a lot. I've seen these on her channel. And I was like, oh, I got to have those. And she told me what the name was, and it was actually the wrong one. So I got the wrong deck too. She told me it was called the Spellcaster's Tarot. Because I thought I was getting this, but I got a whole different thing. But we'll come to that one next. But this is the Witch's Tarot. This is one of my favorites too. The images are very vibrant, very vivid, very pretty. Like they took their time with this one. So I really like that one. And what I liked actually most about it, was kind of strange, is they're kind of flimsy. And so I like the cardstock. It's very, very flimsy though, but I like that because it's soft, for lack of better words. It's very easy to shuffle. It's very easy to spread. It even spreads on this table, which I hate. So there's the Spellcaster's Tarot. When I wanted the Witch's Tarot, I asked her what the name of this deck was, and she told me it was this one. She has both, so I mean you can see how you can get that mixed up, Spellcasters and Witches. So I got this one by mistake, and I got it, and I was still pleasantly surprised because it's nice. The only gripe is, at the time I had just kind of gotten back into tarot, and really was not in the mood to be confused the way I was. Because what they have done in this deck is they have flipped the elements. Swords, well, they flipped swords and wands. The sword is now fire instead of air, and the wands is air instead of fire. So for whatever reason, I'm sure it's in the book, but like I said before, I don't actually read the books anymore. So there's this. But they have really awesome images though. And it was the first deck that I had seen that incorporated non-white people. And it had a same-sex couple in it too. So these are really nice images though. Like they did really good on this one too. And it's not symmetrical, so if you read reverse cards, you can't really, if you're just studying the back, then fine, but it's symmetrical enough. I love this card. This was going to be my thumbnail, but I thought that would be a little too much copyright-ish, but that's my thumb. My thumbnail now comes from this deck too. For my channel. I really like it. I'm a Gemini, so therefore I'm an air sign. Oh, the Two of Cups and the Two of something, Two of Wands, I think, are the ones that had and it's an interracial same-sex couple, so they really went there. And naturally, I can't find it. I'm not looking for it anymore. But I love this card. This is my favorite card, artistic-wise. So, that's that. That's the Spellcaster's Tarot. And this one, I got the Celtic Tarot. I got because it was one of those I don't hate it, and most of the images I really, really like. Now, it is not one I use often because, as someone pointed out in the live stream, most of the people sit in a chair shaped like a penis. So, that's why. It's like, Plus, the readings don't actually call for this deck anyway, so. But they do have really nice images. Magician. I love this card with the head on the table. And they do change the names as well. It's like shields and cauldrons instead of pentacles and cups. But they have very nice images. So I like that one. So I got it. And most of these decks come in these big, pretty display boxes. And I kind of prefer this, especially with me, because I'm a person who buys too many. So there's that. But this is the Llewellyn Tarot. Llewellyn.com. Like, if you really want to spend all your money on some tarot decks, that's the place to go. Because they got, they're pretty much all the ones I've shown you come from Llewellyn pretty much. So, anyway, or published by them. So, this is their deck. This deck is like paintings. That's the Fool. Two of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles. So it's paintings. Or they look like paintings. But they're really nice. I think I've used them once. But as you know with this channel, the deck chooses the reading, so you kind of got to go with what you got to go with. If I don't say use that one, I don't use that one. Tarot of the Hidden Realms. This one was one of those, just get it. So I just got it. Plus, I like it. I didn't hate it. I'll say that. I love the gold border down at the end. I love that because it is kind of shiny. I like shiny and sparkly. But it has a lot of animals in it. And I'm sure they're symbolic, but I don't read the books, like I said. And that brings up something else. So there is a few readers out there who do their readings, and then people watch the readings, and then they come to my channel and say, hey, what you think about that person's reading? So here's the thing. I am never, ever going to tell you a person was wrong. Ever. Here's why. When you pick up a card, if you're in tune with your spirit and all of that, you pick up a card, that card says something to you that it may not say to somebody else. With the whole deck chooses the reading thing, sometimes it does not choose the reading for me, it chooses it for you. So I may hold up a card that it said something to you the moment I picked it up, instead of saying something to me other than its meaning. You may get something out of the picture because, crows and owls mean something to folklore and legend and all of these are the type of things that it doesn't necessarily mean to me because I don't study that type of thing. So I'm not going to go off into some whole deep philosophical, I'm going to study everything in the world in order to be a master tarot reader. I'm just not. We're not going to do that, period. So if somebody picks up on something that I don't, that doesn't mean they're wrong. That just means it's not something you've ever heard me say. I'm not I like astrology, but I don't really study it like that. Outside of the signs. Outside of that, I don't know about the moon in this house and the sun in your apartment and then the star in your house in your car. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. You got something in the 6th house, but nothing in the 8th house. And then over here in the brick house, you got the house that Jack built. So I don't really know. All I can tell you is what this means. So, on the other hand, if I pick up the Emperor, which means authority, and then I say something like sickness, it doesn't mean sickness. So, don't give me 900 messages about that doesn't mean sickness. It didn't mean sickness to you, but I am explaining to you what my spirit said to me. There you go. So 5 of Cups. Now that's interesting. Because there are no cups in there. That used to be a pet peeve of mine too. If you're going to have a card that says cups, put a cup in it. But put 5 of them, don't put 1, put 5. But I'm okay with that now. They changed the names. This is the Devil card. Shadow Dance. This is the Chariot. Fairy Stallion. That's nice. The Magician. Ace of Wands again. So yeah, there's that. I like it though. It's very earthy. Now this is the Llewellyn Classic Tarot. How the other ones look like paintings. This is the classic. And like I said, I have all these books. I don't read none of them. Now, on one hand, it's a shame because they put so much work into this. On the other hand, what it means to me is what it needs to mean to me in order for me to make it make sense. So let's pause on that. Because this is what I was going to say at the beginning, and I'm going to say it now. So, a long time ago, I said I didn't like reading. And here's why. That's the story. I said this was going to be a long video. So, when I was in the 3rd grade, vocabulary, spelling, reading, like verbally, Perfect. I got A's and all that. I knew what the definitions were. I could spell all the words. I had everything down, right? Reading comprehension was like a 30. So it was an F. And like I could read out loud. I knew what all the words saying. I knew what all the words meant. I read, it was perfect. Reading comprehension was horrible. But nobody ever stopped to think, why is it you can spell the word, say the word, you know what the word means, but when we put it all together, you can't tell me what you just read. Nobody ever asked that question. And so fourth grade comes around, because I got by third grade. Fourth grade comes around, my reading comprehension hit the absolute floor. And again, nobody ever asked, why can you spell it? You can say it. You know what the definition is, but you can't read it all together and then tell me what you read. Nobody ever asked that. All they ever said was, you got to do fourth grade again. So I did it again. Same thing. They just passed me to fifth grade. So all they had to say was summer school. You should go to summer school. Now, I have attention deficit, but that wasn't a thing back then. I went to school in the 1800s. Nobody knew what that was. Nobody said what that was. It was probably a diagnosis back then, but I didn't have it apparently. Because here's what happens. I'll read The Red Dog Jumped Over the Fence. So I know what the words are. The red dog jumped over the fence. I would read the red dog and I would stop. In my head, the red dog, so now the red dog has popped up. It jumped over the fence. Now it's chasing cows in the green grass. And now it's doing this, it's doing that. Oh, there's a butterfly. Oh, look, the sun. Like it's doing this. It's darting all over the place. Meanwhile, I know what the words are, so I'm still reading and I get to the bottom of the page because I still know what the words are. And I can't tell you what I just read because in my mind has been playing out this whole scenario of something else. So further on down the line, now we can come to middle school, high school, where they make you read things. Here's where I fell off the wagon as far as education goes, period. I couldn't stand any of it. I hated school, and I still to this day do because of this. If you make me do something I don't enjoy, then I'm not going to enjoy it. Then I'm going to resent it and then hate it. Now, life is full of things you don't want to do. But when it's something like this, not work and taxes and death, when it's something like reading, when something you have to sort of maybe even suspend your mind because this is fiction or sort of relate to what happened because this is facts. So when I go and I started, I think 6th or 7th grade, they make you read Shakespeare. I hate anything that uses thous and thises and that's and don't talk like the Bible. I can't understand that. I don't want to understand that. Don't thou. Say you. Don't say thou. So that was never my thing. I don't care about Midsummer Night's Dream. I don't care about Romeo and Juliet, two people who didn't know how to say, hey, are you really dead? I can't. What I liked was things that I couldn't read in school, like, or as far as what they were assigning us to read. You wouldn't let me read a book on astronomy. I want to know about the planets. I don't care about Romeo and Juliet. You wouldn't let me read a law book, but you would let me read A Midsummer Night's Dream. You wouldn't let me read a horror book like a Stephen King or R.L. Stine, but you'll let me read The Great Gatsby. Meanwhile, I started reading The Great Gatsby. I got on the first page, and I've never been past that page to this day. Still can't tell you what it said. So reading was never fun to me because it was something forced on me in the way that I didn't want to read those things. And so we go on down the line all the way through high school. You have to read this. You have to read that. You have to read this. I don't want to read it. And then when I don't want to read it and I can't read it, I can't follow along, then I become disenfranchised. And then I close the book. I sit with my hands, and then next thing you know, I got an F because now I'm tuned out. I'm checked out. But you can't really go around to 28 different students and see which one is engaged or not. So I sort of get lost in the process. Everybody else is moving on, and meanwhile, I'm discouraged, and so I don't want to do it. So that's the story of why I don't want to read, because I don't like the constant wandering off. Now I know how not to, but that's why I don't say. That's why I say I don't like reading. Now, a tarot book is a different thing. I read things I'm interested in. So when you give me comments that are like this long, I can read that because it's to me. If you give me a long email, I can read that because it's to me. But if you start talking about thous and thises, I'm out. I just can't. I just can't. This is the classic Llewellyn Tarot. So this is nice. These are very nice images too. Very I just like them. They're clean, if that makes sense. Almost like a really nice coloring book. It just gives me that feel. And it is symmetrical. There's the back. So you can do reverse cards with that one. Classic Tarot, Llewellyn. So that is that. That's that one. I got 2 bags and a whole giant box full of cards. I want something to put them in, but I want something that's not going to be so heavy because I have 64 decks. Put it back later. Okay, next one. Oh, Jesus Christian. So, actually, I'll tell you this too. This deck, the Afro Goddess deck, comes in this bag. It's velvet. It's fantastic. This is one, I think this is the most expensive deck I own. It was like $81, but it was very, very, very worth it. So it came in this. So presentation is everything, they say. It came in that. It's gorgeous. And you pull it out, and then you got the nice, it's kind of a soft box too. It's got like some sort of, I don't know. I don't do textures. I don't know how, I'm not Martha Stewart. I don't know about that. But what I keep in there now is my Rider-Waite deck, because this is 2 decks put together. So here's the Rider-Waite. I'm sure you've seen that one. Just flew at you just now. But it's the Radiant Rider-Waite because the images are more vivid. This was always my gripe with the Rider-Waite, is because the images were too washed out for me. But I like it. I like it now, let me say that, because it grew on me. Because when Jen Lin, she uses it and Sienna uses it, so it just like, okay. You see it over and over and over, just get the damn thing. So that's how it happened. All right, next. Okay. So here's the inside. It's nice. This deck is special. The book. Now, I didn't read the book because I said I don't read the books. Here's the back. It's symmetrical, so you can do reverse cards. Really nice cards. Justice. Like really nice images, right? And then they get a little obscure. Magicians, interesting. 7 of discs, there's 7 in there. There's a lot of imagery and a lot of, you need to read the book to really appreciate this deck. Because now those are the tame ones. There's the page of disc. There's your Queen of Cups. I've used this deck maybe twice. Queen of Disc. I have no idea. I can't explain any of these cards because I didn't read the book. 2 of Disc. The Wheel of Fortune. I don't know. Where's the sun? That one's neat. But I seen just a few images and decided to get it. And when I looked through it, I was like, oh, Lord. I didn't see all this here. I think I seen that one. That one, it looked neat. You know. See, but there's a lot of imagery. See, like I'm sure these 3 heads and the gold, the Baphomet, or however you say that, it means something, I'm sure. And it's got words on the arm. Like, I'm sure everything in there means something. So you need to read the book if you get this deck. That way you can appreciate it and you're not like me, like, what the hell am I looking at? 10 of Swords. Like, it's really neat, though. Like, you can tell they put a lot of work into it. But that's that. There's... I was skipping some of the stranger ones that I don't want YouTube flagging my mess for that. So that's that. This one, I gave away a copy of this one because I got 2 sort of by mistake. I ordered one from a place called Thrift Books, and it came and I never knew because they didn't send me any tracking information or email or nothing. So I live in apartments, so I was sitting down in the apartment office the entire time. So I called them and was like, I never got the thing because I didn't know it was down there. So they gave me a refund. They said, if it ever shows up, keep it, donate it, whatever you want to do. So I ordered it from Amazon. It came from Amazon. I went down because it was, again, in the damn office. Went down there, got 2 packages instead of 1. I'm like, oh, who is this from? And so opened it, and then boom. I had 2 of them. So I gave one away to somebody. I forget who. But 2 of Wands. But they're really nice. They incorporate technology. See a little mechanized arm over there. The machinery, the gears. It's not symmetrical though, so if you read reverse cards, you probably can tell it's not. But that's the Steampunk Tarot. I really like it. And it has that sort of flimsy cardstock too that I like. This one, I really like this one. The most disappointing thing is this box that comes in. But it's nice. Like, this box is pure garbage. Like, just keep your box. You put these in cellophane and send it to me. I'm just fine. There's a little book in there. But there's like nothing to hold anything. It's just kind of flying around. But they're wide. They're wider cards. They are symmetrical, so you can read reversed. But they're neat. They remind me of sort of this Lord of the Rings feel. They're really neat cards, though. The Anarchy Tarot is what they're called. The Flopsy box. Now this one, this is just a regular old box I got from the dollar store. Because the box that the cards came in, I don't have it anymore. I don't know where it is. Trash, because I throw things away a lot. I don't like stuff. Mind it. But this is the one. These are the pink ones. It's called the OK Tarot. They're supposed to be easy for anyone to read, but I actually think quite on the contrary. Most people need the image to really sort of like the Rider-Waite is what most of, actually all of the tarot cards that I have are based on the Rider-Waite system. So these cards are supposed to be like simple to read. But like I said, I think actually quite the opposite. What is that? Eight of Swords. There's no word swords on there. There's just 8 and then these little things. And then you have to think in your mind, okay, 8 of Swords. Because see, mind you, if you just show me a card with an image of a guy holding all of these pentacles, I can guarantee or I can guess that this is the 4 of Pentacles. But if you just do this, then I have to sort of think a little harder. I can get this without reading the name. This you have to pay attention. So I think it's actually quite the opposite, but it is symmetrical, so you can do reversed. But they're neat, though. I like the simplicity of it. That's why I got it. I like those. It's called the OK Tarot. These ones, like say these ones, this one I saw on Instagram. They're little bitty. They come in a tin. Like this is the standard tarot card size. So they are quite smaller. They come in a little tin. They're called the White Sage Tarot. I seen them on someone's Instagram page. This was the card I seen, and I just had to have it. I said, oh, that's really pretty. I like the ribbon in there and all that. So these are these. Got a lot of animals in it. So those are nice. It is symmetrical. So you can do reversed. Then I have another tin called the Zilich Tarot. They're water paintings or watercolor, however you want to say. They're also like little bitty. Then they have like a little interpretation down here as well. So those are that. Those are that, I said. That's that. This one is the Mermaid Tarot. There are 2 Mermaid Tarots out there. I have just this one. Now, these are really beautiful cards. They have the mermaid theme, naturally. I love this card. Ace of Cups kind of overflowing with life. the bond, the cooperation, the unity. The Emperor, Poseidon himself. So that's that one. Those are nice. I like that. Where's the one? My favorite card in this one, I think it's the Death card. The Devil card, to where she sort of chased the shiny, pretty things and then got caught in the trap. I like those. I like that one too. So that's the Mermaid Tarot. This one is one of those ones where I didn't hate it, so I got it. The Star Tarot. Big full-size book. 2 rows of cards because they split it up. But they're very large. They're very neat, though. This is the standard size card. And that's that. So it is quite large. Symmetrical too, so you can do reversed. And like we're not even halfway done. Gonna need a bathroom break and a snack break and everything for this. So this one, let me get both of them. I have 2. This one is called 8 Coins Tattoo Tarot. This one is called Tattoo Tarot, Ink and Intuition. They are by different people, I assume. We'll just say yes, they are by different people. But this is this one. So it reminds me of like playing cards. I like those. And these were along the lines of, I didn't hate it, so I got it. These were, it is a channel someone told me to watch called the 3 Hoodoo Sisters. She uses these. This is the Tattoo Tarot. I think this is one of the only ones that doesn't have color. No, I think it's quite a few, actually. But they don't have names. So this is like sort of back in that pink deck thing to where it is symmetrical. To where you kind of have to pay attention. Because if you don't, you can get lost with this one. Because it's not always clear, but the images are very vibrant, so it's not a total loss. Now this one, the Fountain Tarot, I like the iridescent. The Fountain Tarot, this computer is wearing my nerves right now. It's something that keeps popping up. So the Fountain Tarot, I once bought it. There's an app called Wish. where you can buy like everything from China, direct import type of thing, for like $1. You can get anything. Well, basically, I got this. No, I didn't get this. I got a Fountain Tarot deck for $8 off the Wish app. So they sent me a deck this size, like the size of the little bitty cards. This is the actual size of the Fountain Tarot. They sent me one like this. So they sent me like the bootleg copy. I'm like, I don't like this. So I gave it away. So I had this deck a long time ago. I'd actually, if you go all the way back in my readings, you'll find I did a reading for the NRA with the Fountain Tarot, but it was with the little bootleg copy. They were like little small cards. But I seen it and I didn't hate it, so it was like this one and the Shadowscapes. I've never bought the Shadowscapes, but I might. They're just interesting. They're very prism-like. Very prism-like. My favorite card in here is the Moon card. Like, I wish I could, like, blow that image up and hang it on my wall. And I just really like it for some reason. I like the pillars. I like the water being sort of thrashed around and the moon there. I like this whole thing. It's like my favorite card in that deck. And it's shiny. And symmetrical, so if you read the reverse cards, there you go. So that's the Fountain Tarot. This is everyone's favorite, apparently. The Everyday Enchantment Tarot. Finding magic in the midst of life. And that's what it sort of depicts, is just people living regular life. Here's the book. The book is very long. The box is very long. The cards are large. So they're very large cards. This is the standard size tarot. Here are the larger ones. But they depict everyday life in tarot form. Now they do stick. And no, I'm not putting powder on my cards. The sneakiness. There are a lot of animals in it. A lot of imagery. A lot of, not imagery, what do you call it? Whatever the word is. Symbolism. Yeah, they stick together. So I love those. This one and the El Goliath, which is coming up next, seems to be everybody's favorite. I had one viewer, though, say that this one scares them. This is the El Goliath. It is new. Well, it's new to Amazon. I don't know if it's new to the world, but I was waiting on it to come out to take a look at it. And I looked at it and I was like, the images are so bizarre. And the more I looked at it, the more I just loved it. Because they were. Now, they are ginormous. They are symmetrical, so you can re-reverse, but this is the standard size. They are ginormous. They're like Polaroids, like giant. This was the big deck, remember? So it's even larger than that one. It's even larger than this one. So it's big. So if you have smaller hands, that one's going to be a challenge. There's so much crap up here, I don't have anywhere to put anything. But anyway. But this one comes with a whole bunch of extra cards. And I threw them away. I didn't throw them away, they're just not handy at the moment. But It comes with a bunch of extra cards. It comes with a yes and no card too. So this comes with a lot of really neat stuff. It's worth it. It's like $60, but it's worth it. I trust me. So there is one of the images. And I despise spiders, but one of my favorite, oh, these are reversed. I'll do reverse now. One of my favorite cards in here, this is the Tower, is the Eight of Pentacles with the big giant spider on it. They're black and white. I love that. Now, whoever did this deck, his name is something. But whoever did this deck is just a genius. I love it. Illustrated by Goliath. That's the name. It's called the El Goliath Tarot. I love, love, love it. Now, here's the thing with me. And it's gold and shiny. So how can you not? Now, here's the thing. I said, oh, I don't like the Rider-Waite because it's washed out and it's too this. And I like bright and vivid. And then I bought... Where the hell is it? I bought this. And it's one of my favorites now. The El Goliath, I think, has moved up to the top of the list. It's like my favorite now. But it's black and white. I like bright, vivid images. And then the black and white deck becomes my favorite. Like, where they do that at? But the images are great despite the color, or lack thereof. So I really like that. Those are some of my faves. So, superficially speaking, this is my favorite. Because the cards, all of them have gold on them, and it's shiny and it's pretty. I don't like the back, though. I would like just like a solid color instead of that. I don't know what this is. It's like drapes at grandma's house or something. I don't know what that is. But all of them have this nice, shiny, just loveliness going on all around it. I love the lettering. I love the Nine of Swords or the people laughing at her in the skull. Like, I like all of this. Everything on these cards I love. There's the Lover's card. I love that shininess, that gilded. See, but they're also great images, too. It's not just, the gaudiness of the gold. It's really pretty. Like, they did a good job on them. Love that. Like, you can see yourself in these cards. Flip my hair. Like, they're fantastic. Probably putting those reversed. Now, all of my decks will be reversed now. And here is one of those ones where it was like, just get the damn thing. The Silver Witchcraft Tarot. I like them, and then I don't like them. I don't like that pedestal. It's one of those things where it's just bothering me. It's like, it's not, I don't know. It's just, If I could take it out, it would just work so much better. Like the pip cards don't have it. Or the minor arcana, however you want to call it. They don't have it. Now, there aren't 7 wands in here. And the images do kind of lack clarity for me. Like, the Fool is about beginnings. I guess there is about to be, since the eclipse is moving away, I think it's moving away. It's either moving away or it's moving on, but it looks like it's moving away. Maybe that's like a new beginning to that, but There are no wands, but you can feel the haste in the card, which it is about haste. But these pedestals just wear my whole life out. I can't do it. Like, just take them out. I don't know why it bothers me, but it does. Because everybody got one. Just take the pedestal out. But they are nice images, though. Like, they did a good job on the imagery. I can just do without the pedestal. But they are really nice. I do use them from time to time, though. Because I do like them, though. Now, look here. This computer's driving my whole life. Something just keeps it pops up on the whole screen, so I can't tell if I'm looking at what I'm looking at. So, the Book of Shadow Tarot. As above, so below. As above, so below. Now, this one, the as above, deals with the gods. The so below deals with everybody else. So, the major arcana, the names have been swapped out for pagan gods, so Samhain and things like that. So there is the devil, I believe. And I like that they didn't use, what is it actually? See if I can look it up. Oh, hell, what is 18? 18. What is 18? What is 18? What is 18? The moon is 18? Okay. So, yeah, like I was saying, I'm glad they didn't use Samhain for the devil. Samhain is the this is the holiday that pagans celebrate during, or pagans and witches celebrate during Halloween. Did I say that? This is the holiday that they celebrate during Halloween. Is Samhain. It looks like Samhain when you look at it, but it's pronounced Samhain. And so he always gets the reputation of being evil, but it has nothing to do with evil. It has something to do with just the veil on the other side and all that. And it's a whole other thing. But anyway, it's not the devil. The devil is Llamas. I think I probably said it wrong, but I don't really do holidays of any kind, so I don't know. But all of them have been replaced. All of the major arcana have been replaced with sort of pagan gods. Now, with that being said, you will never see me use this deck because I don't want to look up every single time what number 18 is, what number 15 is, what is number 3, because the names have changed. And so you will never see me use this one. This one I have used. This is the so below because this is, it's standard. You got the Fool, it's got the regular cards in here. The Chariot. So that's those. I like those. I didn't notice that about the name swap though, or I wouldn't have got it. But this one, no. Oh, I can't. This one is called the Gothic Tarot. Images are very blue, very gloom. Sun, blacked out sun. Page of Swords. So it's very Gothic, as the name suggests. It's not symmetrical, so if you read reverse cards, it might be a problem, but I love that. Now, a lot of times, this is why it catches me off guard sometimes when I read them. What I do when I get a deck is I go through them to make sure they're all there. I don't really look at the images because I kind of want to be surprised when I do the reading. So all of the cards I have not seen in all of the decks. This one, the Cosmic Tarot, is just sort of a padding of the inventory. Like I was just going down what I did. I went into Amazon and just put all the ones that I don't hate in a list and just periodically bought them. I'd buy 6 at a time and then, you know. So that's what I did. I love the back of this, though. It's not symmetrical, so it is different, but it looks symmetrical enough. But, oh, this one I did like. Well, this is, I didn't hate enough to say no, but I liked it enough to say yes. Because I love the profiles. I love the profiles. This is what drew me to this. I love the profile pictures. This is the one I kept seeing over and over and over. I'm like, yeah, I gotta get that. But the images are great. Yeah, I really like this deck. I forgot about this one. This is not the one. I like that one. I've used it a couple times. These decks are the ones I kind of just padded the inventory. Like, I don't really, you know, I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. This kind of is what it is. It's not symmetrical, but I like the back. That's the back. And I need 2 pair of glasses on, though, to see these words down here. Can y'all see that? If it'll focus. Empress. That is tiny. Very tiny. Very, very tiny. But the images are nice. They're very dark, though, like color-wise. Like you want to turn a light on in the picture. Everything's got a shadow. And maybe that means something, but it's just like the tones are too dark. But I like the images, so I mean, I don't hate the deck. I do use it. I use all of them, actually. I just don't use all of them a lot. This one I use personally a lot. And I didn't think I would because it was a little too, you know, Mr. Rogers with the art style. It just reminded me. It's not Mr. Rogers. It just reminded me of Mr. Rogers because Mr. Rogers had a puppet that had red cheeks. And all these people have red cheeks, and they got sort of this. Anyway, I'm not going into all that. It'd be a 15-hour video then. But this is the back, so it is symmetrical. I hate this. It's just ugly, but the pictures are neat. They love stripes and polka dots. It's just pretty much in everything. Wheel of Fortune. But it is a nice deck, though. But what I do is when I don't feel like making, because see, making a video, it's not just, I can't just turn on the laptop and go. It's a whole different kind of thing I got to do. Like this table is all the way on the other side of the room, and I got to drag it over here so that this camera is closer to the computer. And it's a thing. So I can't just push on and just start doing the video. So most of the times I just kind of wonder about something, and then I'll pick up this one, and then I'll just do a reading and say, okay. So this is the one I use personally just to sort of inquire. And I got I love this one. That's the Tarot Illuminati. I've seen this one on Dr. Victoria Scarable uses this one a lot. But I got a comment one time asking if I ever pulled cards on just you guys to see who you are. No, I don't. I think that would be like wrong because I didn't have your permission to do so, and you're not a public person. So I wouldn't just pull cards on random people and say, no, I don't do that. I do it for people at work, though, because they do things with no explanation. And it seems like there's a hidden agenda, and every time I do a reading, and there always is. But if it's just one of those, that seems strange. I'm not doing a reading on that. But if it seems, no, that was weird, I'm doing one on that. But these are great. Now, they do have a whole lot going on in the picture, and the images are not very big, so they're not the best for doing videos with. Because there's a lot going on in this death card, but you can't really tell unless you sat there and really studied it. And y'all know how I do. It's like, okay, here's the Hermit. It means this, this, and this. And then here's the this, this, and this, and this. That's actually one of my favorite cards. So. And, and so you don't really get what the picture is because there's so much in it. But they're nice. I like them. So there's that. We're halfway done. Can you believe? Jesus Christian. Okay, this one is the images were neat in this one, so I got it. There was no deep connection or nothing. It's just I kind of like that. They're very coloring book. But they're like pretty. And that one is called Luna Soul. It's not symmetrical. That's the back. Luna Soul Tarot. All right. So, I got stuff everywhere. This is one of the ones. Actually, a lot of these are. Why don't I just do this? Instead of keep retching down and retching down and retching down. Just put them up here. Because we got a lot. I said I was halfway done, but not really. It's a lot of damn boxes in here. Because they're all these little bitty ones. So yeah, I kind of underestimated how many I had. Oh, Jesus. And I'm picking up like 4 at a time, and I'm still doing this. Like 4 at a time. But you know what? I love having this many. Because I like variety. As a Gemini, we get very bored very fast. And sort of become disconnected from what it is we're doing. So having a variety like this really, really helps. Okay, so since this one's flying out of the box, let's look at it next. So this one is The Tarot of Dreams, again by Cyril Machetti. And here are some of the images. They're very nice. He does great cards, period, anyway. I love the big words. But these are great. I love these. Love, love, love. So the new Palladini, this is the last one I bought. This one and that Le Grande Circus. This is this one kind of reminds me of the Fenestra Tarot. That's this one I'll show you next. The image-wise does. They're very nice. It is symmetrical on the back. Red. Most people don't use red. My favorite color, actually. Looks like those old skits of people who put towels on their head to make it look like they have long hair. Like, oh my god. But these are really nice images. And there's I don't know, there's like a feel to the cards. Like they're, I don't know, they have this sort of velvet powder on them. Maybe so they don't stick. But this is the Fenestra. That's the back. But it reminds me of the Palladini Tarot. I actually got this one first, so the Palladini reminds me of the Fenestra. But it has no names, so you do have to pay attention. That's the Two of Wands. But nice cards, though. That was the Fenestra. Now we go to the Druidcraft. I really like these. They are big. There's your standard size tarot. There is the Druidcraft, so they are gigantic. 8 of Cups. So yeah, there's that. Those are that one. There's that. I already did that one. That's my Gilded Tarot. My very, very first deck. Actually, I'm going to leave that out. Mystic Mondays Tarot. I have no idea why it's called that, and I'm sure it said it in the book. I have no idea because I didn't read the book. But it's very prism too, and symmetrical on the back, iridescent on the sides, so you know I like shiny. You can tell. But they're really neat. A lot of color, very prism. I really like those. And it's really heavy stock. Like, they're really thick card stock to it. Now, when you first get them, it's like they were just cut, so they do have little shavings and things that they leave behind. So, word of warning on that one. This one, the Spirit Within Tarot, is officially my only reversed card deck. And that is because I was getting them out one day and they all just flew everywhere. You know how my cards do sometimes. So I picked them up, they were reversed, I left them reversed. No, I picked them up and I straightened them, and then they were still reversed. So they were meant to be reversed. That's the back, so it's symmetrical, so it doesn't matter. But this is shadows. He uses shadows for his cards. So I really like these. So this will be my reverse deck from now on. I don't read reverse cards or use reverse cards because I just don't feel it's necessary to have a card reversed. But I have nothing against it, therefore I can use it. This one, this damn computer, if it does, okay, thank you. It's called True Black, if you can see that. And it comes with these two extra cards. This one I think is just an advertisement, so never mind, but it comes with that. My Afro Goddess Tarot also came with an extra card. It's called the Supreme. The Fountain came with one called the Fountain. And it's sort of, these extra cards are sort of like the whole totality of life is represented in that card. The Supreme, the Fountain, that thing, the whole thing. Now, if you got bad eyeballologists like I do, beware on this one, because all the words are also in black. But the images pop out, kind of like these mannequins. The colors are very vivid. I think there's one card that has red in it. The rest is like gold and silver. But they're really neat. They're hard to sort of capture on camera, though. But the cardstock is very, very thick. It's good cardstock. I think this deck is $75. It is symmetrical, so you can use reversed if you wish. Now, another thing with the True Black. Read this hymn. I didn't because I don't. But everything in here is not obvious. I love it's True Black. It's really black. It's like everything's black. Because that's 3 of Pentacles. Oh, there's another red one. It's a High Priestess. The Moon, I love that one. Love the Magician. But I'm assuming this is wands because there's sticks in the back. It's got 9 down at the bottom, and I think that's wands. So that's why I said make sure you read the book. So there's another red. I assume that's wands. So you see what I mean? It's the 10 bunch of sticks and bugs. So I'm going to go with wands. So make sure you understand what you're looking at when you buy it. Is what I'm saying. And who told me about this? Was it Roy? I forget. But member of the community told me about this deck, and I love it. Circus. The images are very playful, yet they can be very real at the same time. Symmetrical. I have used this before, so it is fun. Every single deck I have used at least once. Because what I do is I always get a list of readings, and then if I have a new deck coming, I'll just save it until I get the decks and then use those decks to do readings. And this is another one of those ones, kind of like the Mary L with the weird images that are sure not weird. It's just I don't understand them. This one, well, to be honest, No offense to Beth. I can't say her last name, and I won't try. But no offense to Beth. But I halfway want to give these away. Because I don't like them at all. I don't know what I was looking at online. If you don't stay the hell open, God dog. It's closed on me 800 times. They're tree people. And I'm sure there is a story behind it. I didn't read it because I don't read the books, but I just don't care for them. Oh, that's reversed. Oh, that's reversed too. Oh, leave it reversed then. Like, I don't like it anymore. It's too horror picture for me. Like, this frightens me. I don't like it at all. It's called the Guardian Tarot. And I don't remember what I looked at that made me say, oh, yeah, get that. Mm. But this one, this is the one that Habits Tarot uses. It's called the Deviant Moon. There is a story behind this one. I did read it. I just can't recite it to you because I don't remember. But it's thin. Like, this is it's larger than the standard size, but it's thinner as well. Like, it's not, you can't cover the other ones. So, and they are in kind of flimsy cardstock, which I like. It is symmetrical, so you can do reversed. But it's all these little weird moon people. Their faces are all crescent moons, I believe. This is the borderless one that does have one with borders on it. Now, here's the thing. You have to pay attention because there is no 9 of Pentacles. You have to pay attention to what you're looking at. But that's the Deviant Moon. I actually like that one. I think I've used it maybe twice. The Lima. I love this one and this one. It's a set of 3. There's another one that goes with it, but it's not necessary to have. It was either basic or didn't really go with these. Forget what it's called. Doesn't matter because I'm not getting it. So there's these. They are similar. The Lehman Arcana. The bottom of the card does change. For instance, there is a green border with the Thelema. And then there's a brown border with the Arcanum. And so they do have so similar imagery, though. These are very vivid, very bright. So naturally, I was drawn to these. I've had these a while. Well, I use these a lot, I should say, because they're kind of worn. It's the Arcanum. This is the Tower in this one. They're very vivid. This one is closer to what I want my deck to look like. The only problem I have is this is like computer graphic is what it looks like. And so when you go with computer graphic, you sort of take a little bit of the edge of what an artist could bring with just pen and paper. And so, I don't know. I'm still sort of on the fence on that one. This one is just cosmetic. Tarot of de la Nuit. I think it's Tarot of the Night or something like that. Because it's just a bunch of pretty people on cards. It's not really, it doesn't mean anything. The Eight of Cups is about walking away. Maybe because of looking over the shoulder, maybe that's indicating walking away, but that's a stretch. Everybody's a woman except the kings. But there's a woman on everything. But they don't really have any relevance to the actual tarot. But it is symmetrical, so you can read reversed. There's the devil. It's just pretty people on cards. The Seven of Swords is about a strategy about getting away with something. I don't know what that has to do with that, but that's what this. I used it a couple times. Like I said, it's really just cosmetic. So if you just want to use a pretty people on cards card, there you go. We're almost done, believe it or not. The Aquarian Tarot was my favorite until I got the black and white ones. And I don't know why, but I really like the faces. The back kind of reminds me of the bicycle playing cards like the Tattoo Tarot did. I don't like the rods. I don't like the thing that they done here. It's like little flower pods or something. But I like the color and then the faces. This is the star. So they use a lot of color. There's a lot of color I like. It's very pastel though. But this was my favorite until I got the black and white ones. This one I bought just to pad the inventory. Like I said, I just went on Amazon, all the ones I didn't hate. I bought, and that's what this was. There's no real special connection to it. That's the back. Reminds me of a piece of bubble gum every time I see it. But they do have nice imagery. Like I said, all the ones I just didn't hate, I bought. But I don't have a real connection with that deck, so I don't use it that often. This one I seen on Instagram. There is a Instagram page called Indie Tarot Deck Review, something like that. And they had this one on there. This is the one that people just hated and hated and hated because it was distracting. And then I had to tell you, I'd ask you, don't come on my page talking about my cards. These are I have 64 children. These are my children. If you talk about my cards, you talk about me. Get off my page with that mess. So here's these. Now the pip cards or the minor arcana are basic, but the cards, the major arcana, all have celebrities on them. And so this is why it wasn't everybody's favorite. See, these are very basic. And I don't know who half these people are, but they're famous for something. And so it's called the Illest Tarot. And people just went, oh, I don't like that one. Say it again. This is called the Golden Thread Tarot. Since the beginning of time, I have gone back and forth about this deck. I'm like, I don't want it. I want it. I don't want it. I want it. I don't want it. I want it. Because it's very pencil. It's not going to make sense until I show it to you. But it's very pencil and stencil. Now, one thing about this, it's very flimsy. Plastic. You can hear it. It's very plastic. Because this is environmental friendly. This card is eco-friendly. But it's very stencil and pencil. But it's shiny and gold. It does leave prints, though. So I rub it from time to time. But I broke down and just said, just buy it. Just buy it. So I did. This one I got because I wanted to try to get something that was a little different. All of my cards were. It's called the Night Sun. All of my cards are just very pretty and polished at the moment that I bought these. So I wanted to get something that was just a little different. Now, the Pentacles, the Rod cards are very weird to me. This is the Wands. And they either have hearts or eggs somewhere in the picture. So it's very strange. And there's the Five of Wands. The card that indicates fighting. So yeah, they're very different. And that's why I got them. The Night Sun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 8 more. So, the Egyptian Tarot. This one was another one of those padding the inventory. I didn't hate it, so I bought it. Because I don't like the hieroglyphic so much because things are facing sideways instead of right at you. So it's very basic. I mean, it's no real dynamic. But they did try to teach Donald Trump a lesson, so they have earned their place at the table. This is another one that I was just sort of padding the inventory. Hanson Roberts Tarot. That one and this one kind of remind me of each other because they have the same art style, sort of. And they do have different translations down here as well. You can see that. Focus. Whatever. But there's that. Oh, now you want to focus. So that's the Hanson Roberts. And they are smaller, on the smaller side. The Morgan Greer. This is the back. They are borderless. They have no border. But they have no names either. Gotta pay attention. So that is the Morgan Greer. The Wheel of the Year Tarot. I love the imagery, so I bought it. Oh, I'm not done. I got another one down here in the box. They also have the different translations, which, believe it or not, I don't actually like because it's distracting. Now, I know I'm going fast, so it doesn't focus on all of them. But there are 64 of these, so that's the back, so it's not symmetrical. Go in the box. Now, this one I got for grins and giggles, because why not? You know, the OG Miss Cleo. The one that she used is also Egyptian themed. I didn't really like it. I just got it because it was her. But it's nice. Nice enough. That's the back. Miss Cleo. As seen on TV. The Robin Wood Tarot. I love these. I love this. This is my favorite back of. I love these cards, the back of them, more than any of them. But they don't have names either, so gotta pay attention. But I first seen that and was like, ooh, I gotta have that whole deck. I just do. I haven't used it much. I think I've used it twice. Terror of the Moon Garden. This one I got. I like the color. It used a lot of color. Now it is a lot going on because it's about a garden. So there's a lot in there that you got to look at. And Chakra Wisdom Tarot. I didn't get this one a long time ago. I wanted it. Well, I looked at it, I should say, because I thought it had something to do, or a lot more to do with chakras instead, and I wasn't really into that kind of thing. But it has something to do with the chakras, but it's not all about chakras, so I can get it. That's the back. But the images are very vibrant. But it kind of reminds you a little bit of the De La Nuit because the people are just more pretty than they are relevant. Because it's more art piece than it is anything else. But they're nice. I think I've used them twice. Finally, Lord have all the mercy. Number 64, the last deck that I got so far is the Master Tarot deck. When I see it online, I'm like, is it a real deck or is they just, because it looked like an advertisement. No, real deck. But it's got a lot of similarities with the Rider-Waite. They just use sort of more vibrant imagery. But it's kind of dreamy, if that makes sense, because you see it's kind of a haze to it. It looks dreamy. See that haze? It's kind of a dreamy card. There's a haze to all of them. So I like those. That's the back, not symmetrical. Now I got to put all these away. It's worse than grocery shopping now. Okay. That took 2 hours, I think. Yes. It's 2 o'clock. I think I started at 12. So I'm done. 64 decks. You've seen them all. Examples of them all. There you go. We'll do this again sometime in the future when I have 70 or whatever, but that's it for now. Bye-bye.